Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another tier ranking video. It is I, Sunpal, aka Ranger Strong One. I just love doing these. I gotta say, I gotta say, it's amazing to do these videos. I'm not gonna lie, but guess what today we're doing? Obviously, you could tell we're doing Marvel movies. Now you may be asking, why are you doing this? Let me explain. Back, well, in the old days, when the Marvel Universe was popping off with Iron Man, it started off from there, and I started loving the whole thing. It was like my whole young lifetime, the things to look forward to are Marvel movies. I used to be a whole nerd about this stuff when it was all lit and stuff, so I think Marvel kind of was a happy life to look at and look forward to, and like trailers and stuff. I remembered like on YouTube and stuff, I'd always watch stuff like trailers, and it'd be the most anticipating one to, you know, look forward to as movies in a way. My dad and I and my mom, we would always watch this type of stuff. Sorry, my phone was going off. I had to upload a short. Um, that's right, I gotta upload a Minecraft short, so bear with me for a little bit. Um, anyways, yeah, we'll start with one movie so far. Uh, yeah, and then when it gets to 2 minutes up for me, then I have to pause for a second again. Okay, let's start off with the ranking. Captain America Civil War. I will tell you this. That was the most exciting and hyped movie I've looked forward to. I'm gonna say that a lot. Um, anyways, I think he was looking forward to a lot with the trailer and these days. I remembered I'd always go to iTunes movie trailers and stuff, and they would have all this stuff on the iPad, and I'd always go to like Best Buy, or I'll go to like Sam's Club. I'll go to any other one, and I'll look up the app iTunes movies trailers, and it showed the thumbnail of the video, and I thought so it was so inspiring to look at, and I was pretty amazed by it. And I will say it was amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, to do to like look at the trailers and stuff because it was hype. This stuff was hype back in my day. This was always on the trending. If it was ever a Marvel movie, it'd be at school. I'd be always looking forward to it or something. Stuff to look forward to, and then all these different type of things. Screw it. I don't think I need to upload a Minecraft short. Screw it. Um, but anyways, yeah, I think it. If I have to rank the Civil War movie, I think like the anticipating thing, like fighting who's gonna win and stuff. I thought they were gonna die, but they didn't die. Iron Man and Captain America tried to make amends, and then there was like a distance, and then they had to make it to Endgame, and then they reunite and stuff. And it was crazy times to look forward to these things, and it was just amazing. I gotta say, I love the old Marvel movies. I don't watch any of the new Marvel movies, but I will say that I do like the older stuff because it was just so written right, and performance was so right. Civil War will be on the. I think it was anticipated. I'm gonna give it an S. Another great one. Avengers. So with Avengers, I will say maybe I will consider Avengers. I mean, I think seen this when I was a young one. When I was first introduced a little bit more with the Avengers, or something like that. I didn't know there was other superheroes in this type of genre, but I remember I was like a young guy. I think I was like 6 or 5 years old, I went to a movie and I watched it at an IMAX or Celebration Cinema movie. It was lit in those days, and what really amazed me about that movie, and it was kind of scary for me actually to like watch this. Actually, I thought this was scary. There was like scenes where Loki stabs a person's eye out to get in, like as like a code to go into like the door and stuff. Oh, that just grossed me out. Oh, it just grossed me out. I don't think it grosses me out anymore, but I remembered it was just disgusting in my eyes. I thought it was awful, and I wanted my dad because we bought the movie and we watched it, and I told my dad to skip that scene because it was just so scary to look at. But anyways, the other one that kind of amazed me was the fact that how at the intro of the movie or the beginning of the movie they meet like Loki because they have the Tesseract and the Tesseract makes like a beam to shoot at the center of the I don't know stage or something. I'll just call it little stage. Shoots on Loki appears and then Loki fights back shooting him and then Loki hypnotizes Dr. Silk, um, well, the doctor that's in the Thor movie. And I will say the thing that impressed me the most was how he Loki destroyed like the whole building there, and it all collapsed. And I was worried if the people that were in the thing made it out alive, and I don't think they did actually. I'm not entirely sure, but all I can say is Avengers. I don't watch this movie at all, honestly, anymore. I find this to be like the last movie I'd say to rank out of the Avengers movie. So if I have to give Avengers a ranking, I'd say it's probably a E slash F. Yeah, I just think it started to die down and don't watch it anymore. Okay, next one is Avengers Age of Ultron. So I will say about Avengers Age of Ultron is I'd say it was kind of like when I was like first introduced to the Avengers Age of Ultron trailer. Was the trailer? Yeah, obviously I just said it. The trailer, I will say it was pretty interesting, and how I came across this trailer was I had my Kindle Fire HD tablet. I remember those days. Days were pretty cool. I remembered how difficult internet was. It was awful. You couldn't get a single. I mean, not single. You couldn't get a signal from the internet on the Kindle Fire HD. And I remembered I browsed on the web and I searched up YouTube and yeah, not good quality, but I do remember I was at an Arby's in where I used to live in Michigan, and I will say that I was at like Arby's in Grand Rapids area. I'm not sure if it was south or if it was south or if it was like west of Grand Rapids, but I do remember it was Arby's, and then I seen all of a sudden it was on YouTube, and the trailer popped up. I took a listen to it, and it was the first trailer. It was pretty interesting and mysterious, and kind of scary and interesting to look forward to. Um, in terms of ranking Avengers, well, I'm not gonna start with the ranking, but there is a huge story to it, and I kind of like to talk about it. I want to give myself a little bit more introspect because these were the times in my life with watching movies. Um, if I have to say like what was impressive about it, um, I liked how there was times where I looked forward to it, and in 2015, this movie came out, and I was in fifth grade at the time, and I remembered looking forward to the next trailer, blah 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 blah. Um, I think it's pretty cool how fight scenes were amazing back in those days, and felt like they did a really great job of doing fight scenes and stuff. And the action stuff, like I said, the older stuff was written and produced correctly. They don't make these movies. That I will tell you anymore. They don't do that anymore, and I wish they would because the past has so much influence. You have no idea. You have no idea. That's what people got to realize. The past has so much influence. You have no idea. I will say, um, the what was so cool about the Avengers of Age of Ultron too, with when it was ending or when it was starting to be in theaters and all and stuff, I was pretty amazed on YouTube. They had so many TV spots. I remember there was used to have been a channel that had he took a whole gap out of his whole life or something, or his moments and stuff, and he had a whole channel dedicated to the Avengers Age of Ultron, and he had so many TV spots for this, and I'm amazed on how many TV spots. And this stuff is like new clips, different scenes on how they made the movie sound really good. It was pretty inspiring and pretty cool how they did it. The TV spots, guess how many there was? It was like 67, or not even 67, maybe 80s. I don't know. But I'd say it's a lot more than any other movie, I think, because it was with all different types of scenes and stuff. And that was pretty impressive. So if I have to give Age of Ultron a ranking, I'd say it would be S/A tier. A/S tier. I think those times were great and it was memories, and I gotta give it to that. And so that will be the ranking for Age of Ultron. Next one is Infinity War. Um, Avengers Infinity War. This one was 100% a look forward thing to do. I remembered, I think it was in. Gal. This movie came out 2018. I think I was in eighth grade at the time. Yeah. No? Yeah. I was in eighth grade, and I remembered, I asked my teacher if I could, like, watch the third trailer. No, this doesn't start with that. Oh, so sorry. If I get kind of like with my lore and stuff, I'm so sorry. Please bear with me a little bit. Um, but Avengers Infinity War, I will tell you, when it was first airing, I remembered coming across this Spanish guy. He does like these reactions and stuff, and he had like an epic thumbnail at the time. And I went onto his channel to wait for any updated feed about the thing. It was the most anticipated thing to look forward to again. This is one of those. I think out of all these, I think there's probably at least 12 more to tell you that it was anticipated. So, not even 12, maybe even 17. But I remembered when they were first airing the trailer and stuff, it was going to premiere on the Good Mythical Morning um, show. And no, no, no. Did I say Good Mythical Morning? I'm so sorry. Good Morning America was doing a premiere of it, and I think there was like a couple actors and actresses were part of it. Maybe I'm not sure. They joined the thing. I do remember this was 2018, and I remembered I didn't really like my teacher, so I actually stayed home on that day. And it was actually the exact same day when Avengers Infinity was coming out. I just didn't like my teacher, and I pretended I was sick to her so that way I have a day off. By the way, that was true. Fun fact to know about me too as well. I did that once with my eighth grade career at I mean not high school, but school. Um, but anyways, yeah, it was pretty epic to watch. I remember there was like so many things. I'm not gonna lie, there was so many things to look forward to. This is like golden age type stuff. Infinity War. When this got into theaters, I remembered I went with a friend that me and him used to been friends, not anymore, but he took me to go see that movie. And fun fact, this was like my first ever movie going to see in like the like super earlier than the release date itself. So it was like the first time ever like dropping into the movie theaters, and I liked that when I was like that with him. He probably will not see this video, but I will say it was amazing to say. That was fun to do, honestly. So if I had to give Avengers Infinity War, I'd say it's kind of legendary because it's kind of memories with this stuff. And just to let you guys know again, the S tier is nostalgia, and the F tier is garbage, hot garbage. Question mark might be like movies I didn't really pay attention or look into really that much, but it's gonna be pretty easy to tell because a lot of you might agree with me on this, or some of you are Marvel fans and you don't do that. So, let's get to the next one. Endgame. This one was cool, and it was kind of looking forward to. I think that around this time when Endgame came out, I think I was starting my freshman year of high school, or if it was my sophomore year in high school. Anyways, when the trailer dropped and stuff, I got a little confused a little bit with it in a way, and the reason why I was saying that is because it started off with like the first trailer for the end game was just random clips from the movies that you see here in the bottom of the screen. And when they were starting out, they started showing the new clips and stuff. And to be honest with you, I didn't like the fact that the trailer was like that. But I will say to back this up with a positive thing to say is that I like the fact that Avengers Endgame. I will tell you that Avengers Endgame did a collab with Fortnite, and I gotta say that was another fun lifetime memory. And I don't know if I did a stream of it or a recording of it, but anyways, um, yeah. Oh, I'm getting messages on my phone, but I will tell you that I think my friend streamed or recorded it, or he just have it on his um private page than on his channel, but he doesn't want to show it out in public for some reason. I'm not sure, but I do remember that. Oh my goodness, me and him played it, and it was fun to do. I had Shield, and then I had Thor's hammer, and we were like fighting all these other players or NPCs on that game, and it was just so fun. But anyways, yeah. To looking at this movie, I found it kind of interesting to I mean, I kind of liked it and all. Um, but anyways, when getting to the movies or when it was releasing into the theaters and stuff, um, I think it was like a few months or a month ago, maybe I'm not sure, but before the movie was supposedly to release out into public, I remembered that people actually leaked some of the huge parts of the movie, and I was outside at the time. There's a gray sky, and the grass is green, obviously. And gal, I was like standing outside looking at my tablet and looking for any updated new leaked clips of it, and people would break down off of it. And yeah, that was some experience. I will say about it. And if I have to rate the end game a ranking of the movie itself, like time travel was another cool thing about this too. Um, I stopped really watching Marvel movies, honestly. I lost interest with it a little bit. But if I have to say with this movie right here, I'd say it's S slash A tier, honestly. Okay, well, next one, Guardians of Galaxy. I will say that Guardians of the Galaxy, when I first heard about it, my sister had Rotten Tomatoes app, and when she showed me like a picture, because this was before when it was gonna get released out into the public, like the trailer and stuff. I remembered, I remember, gosh, it was like a picture, like a teaser picture of the Guardians of the Galaxy where it showed animated like Groot, Star Lord, Rocket, and it was like a black screen with those characters and like a blue lighting in the background. You might find it in IMDb, but it's really buried because there's like so many photos on there. But anyways, I was introduced to that, and then I remembered that the teaser trailer came out, and I thought it was pretty hilarious how they were doing it. Um, Another thing I remember, I mean, I don't think, well, I did, right? I think I did. I went and seen it with my sister. Guardians of the Galaxy, I will say, I went and seen it with my sister. We watched it, got popcorn. I like butter popcorn. I really loved it. Um, you know. I do have a vibe with it. I remembered when we actually bought the disc. We bought almost all the ones that were anticipated, by the way. And the fact of it is, eating popcorn. I mean, not eating popcorn. Oh my goodness, sorry. I have just. I'm going back to memory lane here a little bit. I'm trying to construct it to you guys. I will tell you, Guardians of the Galaxy, when we bought the disc and stuff, I will tell you I had some memories between these two movies. I remember the time where we had like a great couch and I'd always sit down on it, and I remembered we had like a heater, which is like a box that has a cord and you hook it up to the wall and it heats you up and all. I remembered I'd have like a brown blanket on me and I'd cover myself up and just sitting back and relax, and it was such a vibe. I will tell you that. And I think it was the second movie, honestly, but I'll tell you more about more of the vibe and stuff. But anyways, I'll give Guardians of the Galaxy a ranking of B. It's okay, I guess. Um, I didn't really like the first one, really, honestly. But I will say the next one, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, this one is better than the first one. Um, so with the Volume 2, I will tell you this one was definitely a memory. How is this a memory, you may ask? Um, when we had the disc, I remembered watching it, and I think our heater tank or so, I think it didn't explode, but somehow wasn't really working out with our heat furnace really well. We had a guy come and fix it, and I remember I watched the movie when he came to there. I don't know how that becomes a memory, but I do remember that. I have a lot of memories. I have a lot of stuff. This stuff really affects me. These movies really, really helped me. I mean, I love it and I enjoyed it. So, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I did see this in the movie theater with my dad, maybe, and my mom. We watched it, and I liked this one better, and the trailer a little bit was anticipating to look at. If I have to rank Guardians of Volume 2, I'd say it's S tier. I think it was great, nostalgic in a way. But anyways, next one is Ant Man. Ant Man, I will say, in my opinion, I don't think I like the Ant Man one. Easy ranking. Why? Because Ant Man just gives me Agents of Stupid Shield in my head. It gives me that type of vibe. I remembered they would, and this is another thing I forgot to add as a detail to Avengers: Age of Ultron. They did previews of this stuff because it was coming out in theaters. Because it would have like 3 weeks before they would preview a sneak peek of it. I remembered. You can look this up on YouTube and stuff. Agents of Shield sneak peek to Avengers: Age of Ultron or Ant Man, and you could tell. I could tell you. I know this stuff. Believe me, they had this stuff, and I was there when I was experiencing it, and that was a long year. You guys are learning experience from me from these movies. This stuff I know. I know a lot about this stuff. Um, Ant Man, I'll give this an easy ranking. I don't find anything enjoying. It just brings me back to Agents of Shield. I used to watch that show, by the way, and I don't know if it's even on this. Is Agents of Shield on here? No, it doesn't look like it. But I will tell you, I watched Agents of Shield. I used to look forward to it a lot. Started to fade away, honestly, when it got to their third or fourth season. It's just not fun. And I'd also rank that one would be F. But I do have a little memories with the Agents of Shield, just a little bit. But anyways, the next one is the second movie of Ant Man, and this one is the Ant Man and the Wasp, obviously. And this might shock you guys. I know there's a lot of people that don't like this movie, but I do like that movie. I have a lot of memories with this a little bit. I think the aesthetic about it is cool and stuff. The fight scenes, not so much. I if I have to say, Ant Man and the Wasp, eh, I think it was a vibe. I consider it to being a vibe, but I will rank this a B. Um, I can't tell you the memory. Oh wait, yeah, I can tell you the memory. It was like nighttime, and my mom and I we stayed up a little bit at nighttime, and my dad had to go to bed around 7 because he used to work in like a factory or manufacturing company that works on movie theater chairs, and I do want to say that my dad went to bed. I remember this stuff again, et cetera, et cetera. Enough of me talking about this. But my dad was in bed. Me and my mom, we watched it during the nighttime, and I kind of find that enjoying, and it was a vibe. Okay, next one, Doctor Strange. What can I tell you about Doctor Strange? Um, I don't watch that movie at all. I thought it was kind of interesting a little bit when they were first dropping the trailer and stuff. I thought that was kind of interesting and all, but overall, I don't watch the first Doctor Strange, and I will say it will be ranked as a F tier because I don't really watch it that much. It's kind of died down a little bit. So, anyways, next up is Iron Man. Iron Man is a W. I like Robert Downey Jr. He's my favorite actor that plays in this Marvel SAGA universe and stuff. And I like how the fact that I kind of learned a lot actually recently with Iron Man. You may be asking how. Um, I found this interesting documentary about Robert Downey Jr. And with Robert Downey Jr., I remember there was this documentary where it was based off of his life and how he became Iron Man. The role to play Iron Man, and I remembered he went to jail. I've heard his father was like a producer or director. I can tell you a little bit of that. Um, I think his father gave him drugs or something at a young age, and he was not good. And then to the process of him when he was growing up while doing acting and stuff, he did drugs, got in trouble. I'm fast forwarding a little bit, and I think when this movie came out, Iron Man, I think this came out 2008, and he got the role of somehow becoming an actor to play Iron Man. It's a great documentary. I could send you a link down in the description, but I probably will forget. And I will be honest with you, I thought that was an amazing story about RDJ in this film, and this SAGA, and his story, and his legacy about this stuff is amazing. His life really changed, seriously, and he started making a lot of money. Cool, impressive story. I will say that. And then I will say Iron Man, in my opinion, I thought Iron Man was like my favorite superhero out of the whole saga stuff. And I just love the way how he has like this technology and stuff. And I always thought I'd always be like a superhero with my own costume designs. And I always thought, like in the third movie, I always thought the stuff would come to me whenever I ask it to, with my hand motions and stuff, and I pretend it'd come directly at me, and I'll do all these weird stunts and stuff, and it'd come to me. I always pretend with my head with that stuff. So if I had to rank Iron Man on this, I would say it's definitely a S tier. I think it was amazing. Um, and I will tell you too, I will say Iron Man 2. I will say, just to speed it up, I will say Iron Man 3. They're all great movies, honestly. And I think I enjoyed it. I enjoyed them because I like the persona of Iron Man and the way he acts, and I think he does it really good. Iron Man 3, I looked forward to that trailer, and I remember it was 2013, and I remembered it was on Nickelodeon or so. I think they were showing like a snippet of it, maybe. Not sure. I think it might have been Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., maybe. Sort of. With it in a way. I don't know. It was like there was like a sneak peek on ABC, I remembered. And it showed the fight scene at the house or something. And then there was like gonna be like a trailer coming through. I think it was like I think the first, second, and third trailer are absolutely amazing. Okay, so the next one is Spider-Man Homecoming. I like the Spider-Man, honestly. I don't know what to say about my favorite Spider-Man. I think Andrew Garfield, and I don't mean any mean harm or rudeness to Andrew Garfield, but I don't. I'd say that might be my last character that's played Spider-Man, my favorite character, my least favorite character. I don't know. I did enjoy his stuff before, like the first Amazing in Spider-Man, and it's not on here, but I do remember like the lizard and stuff. I thought it was kind of sci-fi-ish in a way. It was like interesting. But anyways, back to Spider-Man Homecoming. Spider-Man Homecoming around that time, I thought it was an amazing vibe, and my dad and I think my mom maybe, I'm not sure, not entirely sure about it. But Spider-Man No Way Home, I mean not Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm not even there yet. But Spider-Man Homecoming, I thought it was alright. I think it was a vibe. 2017 was definitely, most definitely the vibe. I was in seventh grade, I believe, when that was happening. And I thought it was interesting. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was cool. So I'll rank Spider-Man Homecoming. This is also the time where I was starting off with the Fortnite and stuff and learning all this stuff. And this is truly iconic about it. So if I had to rank this, I would watch it sometime. Um, I think it's an S tier. I think it's nostalgic. Okay, the next one, Spider-Man: No Way Home. Right? Shoot. Hold on. Okay, that's a lot better. Far From Home. Okay. Sorry, got a little confused. No Way Home a little bit. But I do know these movies. Know these movies. I just was still. I'm so confused a little bit. I had to like zoom in a little bit. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so Far From Home. I don't really have too much about it, but I do like the fact that MJ and MJ and Peter Parker have romance in this, and I thought that is pretty cool and unique about it. I'd watch all these edits and stuff, and yeah, it'd be on there. Um, Spider-Man: Far From Home. Eh, I find it kind of interesting, but if I have to rank Spider-Man: Far From Home, I don't find really anything memories really with this really movie. Kind of faded out. But I will rank Spider-Man: Far From Home. I will say it's a C tier. I don't know what to say in this one, but I will. I say I like the only thing I like about it was the relationship, and I will give it that. Okay, the next one, Spider-Man: No Way Home. I will tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, Spider-Man: No Way Home um, is amazing. I thought it was a vibe, and I looked forward to it. That's like the last Marvel movie I looked forward to, and it was anticipating out of the Marvel movies. Actually, actually, why did I enjoy it? This is the story is in 2021. I remembered I was in my yellow bedroom at the time, and I had my bed up against the wall on a different angle instead of having it in the center of my bedroom, just only having the back side of my bed up against the wall, but my left side or the right side was up to against the wall and the back was up against the wall. So my bed was basically in the corner of the thing. I remembered I went to lay on my bed and I opened up my tablet and I clicked on the YouTube and I seen that the trailer was released. Um, I think that's what it was. Or if it there was like a I know there was like a leak or something that was going on. There was like a little leak with the trailer and stuff and it showed the Spider-Man. I remember there's like early leaks with this stuff and it was the scenes were very different honestly from the first trailer of No Way Home. And it was just strange to watch like the I mean, it's strange, and it looked anticipating getting to see the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield coming together into this video, and yeah, Doc Ock when he comes in at the outro. Oh my goodness. I will say I do like the No Way Home. It is certainly a vibe. And then when the second trailer was coming out, this was the time where I was like getting my driver's license, or I was working on. I think it was my first segment. I was working on getting my driver's license, and when I got done with one of the classes during the 3 weeks, or if it was just the 3 weeks, maybe it was a week. I think I remembered it was 3 weeks. Never mind. Never mind. But anyways, I remembered I came home when I got done with the segments and stuff, and I think it was on premiere for the movie trailer to be released and shown to the public, and it was anticipating to look forward to the second one. And yeah, I thought it was pretty anticipating. And fun fact, when I got done watching the Spider-Man No Way Home movie, I remembered I started to play a little bit of PUBG. And that was another connection of a cool memory with this movie as well with the PUBG. And it was just amazing. I thought it was interesting and enjoyable for some strange reason, and it was like the start of my dad dying as well, because he died in October, and that's like around when Spider-Man, I think, was dropping the No Way Home trailer 2, I think. My dad wasn't in the picture, but it was like the next month when this was happening and stuff with the movie. And yeah, if I have to rank this movie, I started to not like enjoy my life, but I'm not gonna let that a life be an affectant. But I will say that Spider-Man: No Way Home, I guess I can consider that nostalgic, and I kind of enjoyed watching that kind of with it. And so yeah, the next one, Black Panther. This was gotta be my favorite movie as well. Not ranking as a S tier. Interesting. Why are you ranking it a S tier? I remembered in 2017 when this stuff was happening. This is another movie, by the way, that also came out with alongside Spider-Man Homecoming, not No Way Home, Spider-Man Homecoming. I remembered I was bumping "Can't Feel My Face" by Starboy, and Starboy also, and with Kendrick Lamar was on tied with this. I remember they were popping off with stuff, and I always listened to that. And then Daft Punk, I remembered I listened to that, and remember I listened to Around the World, Around the World, Around the World. And then there was like another song, Harder, Faster, Stronger, Better, or Harder, Faster, Stronger. I think that's what it is, the song. I listened to that. But anyways, during around that time, that's what it was. Black Panther, in my opinion, I thought it was amazing that they had people to express themselves as even with the actors and stuff. I felt pretty amazed by that, and the community seems to agree it was empowering and stuff. I like that. It's nice that people can do that. No hate towards this movie. I like this movie. I thought this movie was a vibe and interesting. There was like a scene I will say that I didn't like with the CGI because it was CGI when Michael B. Jordan was fighting Chadwick Boseman. Boseman, right? I think it is. Bosman? Boseman, I don't know his last name, but I do remember there was like a fight scene where there was like a train coming through and their stuff was like the suits was about to like disintegrate or something. It was like phasing out and it was exposing the skin and stuff. Um, I just didn't like that CGI. I will say it is a S tier and might be a little bit of an A as well. So that's what I'll give. Next one is Captain Marvel. One thing I will know about Captain Marvel, I think the blockbuster reference on the first trailer was amazing because that takes me back to Family Fair actually instead of Blockbuster. But I do remember Blockbuster as a store. Um, Blockbuster, I remember getting all these movies like Pirates of the Caribbean, The Strange Tides, and the first Iron Man movie right here. Um, remember getting that. And so I think it was kind of good with Captain Marvel in a way. I kind of like it a little bit. Not much as I used to, but anyways, what can I say? Um, I think uh, it had memories in a way, and it was kind of interesting that to see like Nick Fury when he was like starting to be in his early days, like he was like a detective or something, or he was undercover for things, and he had no like eye patch or missing eye, or his eye was blind because of the cat scratched his eye. That's the story, I guess, from Nick Fury. Interesting. Um, However, how will I rank this? I think it's nostalgic in a way. I will consider it a little bit of it, but in general, I don't really watch this movie at all. I think the last time I actually watched the Captain Marvel movie was 2014. And so I will rank this movie probably like a C slash B, maybe in a way. But yeah, that's all I'll say. Okay, the next movie, Black Widow. What can I tell you about Black Widow? Um, Not really good CGI. When I went and seen this movie, I was with my dad and my friend and my sister. We went and seen this at a AMC movie theater, and I will tell you that I didn't like the CGI on this. That's what I'll tell you. Did I enjoy it? Not really, actually. I don't even watch that movie at all. Um, I think it was kind of crazy with the Black Widow. I don't know. It was just strange. But anyways, yeah. So the next, I will rank Black Widow. I'd say it's a D slash E. I think it's D slash E. Next one, Shang-Chi, blah blah blah. Legends of the Ten Rings, right? Uh, this movie, I don't watch this movie at all. I did watch and went and seen it in theaters, and I watched it. Um, but I don't. This is a movie I don't even watch, and so, in my opinion, it was okay a little bit. But when this movie came out with the trailer, I think I was playing Fortnite Chapter 3, Season 1 or so, or when the trailer was coming into the place, or if it was Chapter 2, Season 8 of Fortnite. Somewhere around there. All I can say is I'm not really pleased with watching this movie. I don't feel really it's really interesting to me, and I don't find it to be a movie that I like to watch. Maybe people would like to watch this movie. They like this, but I don't really hear too much about this guy, and I will say it's an E. I know the ranking. I just don't. I don't watch it, but I will say, mm, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't really watch this movie that much. Okay, next one, Eternals. I will tell you, I don't have nothing to say, but I have nothing to say that's positive or good about this. But I will say it is the most confusing movie I've ever watched. I mean, it started to confuse me, and it's kind of a disappointing movie to, I guess, to go see in the movie theater. Um, I think when maybe it might have been Avengers: Infinity War when I went and seen it early with my friend. Um, I don't know if it was right there or if it was Eternals, but I remember I was introduced to the AMZ, or if it was Celebration Cinema. Probably it was Celebration Cinema, but I remember the fact that I just came to the realization you can like when I was during that time, I realized that you can have all these different types of food you would buy at a concession. You would have wings there, you would have nacho chips and that stuff. It was just expanding my choice of food there while watching a movie, and I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. And I thought that was pretty cool as well. But honestly, I think that one might have been Infinity War, anyways. But all right, what do I have to rank this? Obviously, hot garbage. Honestly, nothing I find interesting about it. Next one, WandaVision. Um, at first when I watched WandaVision, I was very confused too as well. When they were starting to do Disney Plus and stuff, they really confused me. I when I was like the first 2 years or 3 years, I just couldn't understand the movie. I just couldn't understand. I was so confused at the beginning of the movie how it was started off black and white. Like, what the heck is this supposed to indicate? This doesn't bring any feature. It's the most confusing crap I've ever seen people put out on a film. Why put a black and white film? Why? Why? May I ask why? Um, Black and white is when it was the old days, okay? That's what I can tell you with the black and white film. And then it became an introducing thing for I don't know if it was Ronald Reagan or if it was Jimmy Carter. I don't know. This was like start of that. So this does not mean black and white films are happening in 2021. Nope. I don't see that happening. All I see is a normal color gradient color. I will tell you that the color on this is awful. Doesn't make any sense. It was so confusing. Took me a long time to realize or understand this movie, but apparently this is what makes us realize, I guess, that she becomes bad or something. In WandaVision, Wanda Maximoff starts her villain era, and all because she missed Paul Benty's character Vision. Um, just like she was so desperate to have him in the movie. Took a lot of try to understand what it was, but there is like a cameo of it that an X-Men character Quicksilver appeared on there, but it was like a random collab and didn't make it really that long. And even critics said it wasn't um movie that did so well either. But maybe people like this. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna say, well, this is a horrible movie. Everybody hates it. Maybe people like it. I'm not sure. But all I can say is I felt like WandaVision, and I will say it was horrible. I will say it is. This is just my opinion. Don't mean you critique me any wrong. If you want to add a few more details to me and I'm not aware of with WandaVision, please just let me know, okay? WandaVision was just borderline confusing. And I think this is the most garbageous movie that had to take me to realize this stuff. And it's obviously confusing. So I will rank this F tier. Okay? And it's the Disney era. I didn't like that at all. Next one is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I will say F tier. Why? Because like the new Captain America is Anthony Mackie. What? What? Whatever. I rather prefer Captain America be played by Chris Evans. I like Chris Evans with Captain America. I like him better than um, Sam Wilson, Falcon, Anthony Mackie, whatever his name is, Mackie. Uh, I thought it was strange too when watching it, and the details with the movie. It was sort of confusing in a way, and like I said, all these Disney Plus movies, I will tell you, they're all garbage. So if we have to make this a lot easier, I might as well. I'll pick it out on what is garbage. Consider. Okay, so there's nothing really much I can say about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I watched it. I watched it. I thought it was going to be amazing to look forward to. But the fact is, with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they were doing episodes, and that's another thing I don't like about what Disney Plus and where they took their movies to their level and stuff. I like the fact that they used to do just actual movies. I just find it very disappointing that it had to come to the conclusion. Okay, that's the next one. Next one, I will say, I mean, the next one is Loki. Sorry, I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. Loki, um, so basically in Avengers Affinity, no, it wasn't Infinity, it was Endgame. Basically, when the Avengers went to time travel and stuff, I remembered that a Loki variant, um, or I think Thor and Iron Man was going to take Loki to back to Asgard and stuff, and all of a sudden the other variant for Iron Man was there. Tony Stark was there, and you know the story if you look at it. But anyways, when they were trying to move out of the building, the guy that's in the Captain America Winter Soldier, the what was it, Robert Redford? And rest in peace to him. The Redford guy apparently stops them at the door before they were leaving the building, and they told them to hand them the Tesseract, and so they were saying no, and then they were having an argument, and then Ant Man pulled the pin out of Iron Man's chest and made him have a cardiac arrest or something timed out for him, and so obviously Loki, no, basically Iron Man drops the case that has the Tesseract, and Ant Man gets out of his clothes, not out of his own clothes, but gets out of Iron Man's shirt, Tony Stark's shirt, and gets out, and then he goes and kicks the briefcase to the other Tony Stark, and they try to get it over there, but unfortunately, he gets the case, and then he goes past the door, and Hawk all of a sudden appears and pushes the Tony Stark variant and give the briefcase closer to Loki, and Loki had the option to take it with him, and he goes into the other universe, which explains that's his character. Um, I think he might be really interesting for the future for Marvel movies. That's the only thing I can see that might be kind of cool to look forward to still with Marvel movies. But anyways, I watched the first season of Loki. I didn't really watch the second season, but I can say it's kind of cool in a way. Loki, I will say I rate this a D. I thought it was alright, I guess, whatever. Alright, now let's rank the movies that are on Disney Plus. Not my favorite. Hawkeye, absolute F, is garbage. Moonlight King wasn't really interesting. I did look at it a little bit, but um, didn't really watch it all. I will tell you this one's garbage. Um, did not watch, so I'm putting question mark there. This one I did watch, but I didn't think I really enjoyed it. It had Kevin Bacon in there, which is the most random thing. But okay. Um, is that all? I think so. I think that's all I have watched. Anyways, what if? I mean, what if? Yeah, I thought what if was pretty unique. I thought it was questionable, and these had different concepts of ideas of with these Marvel characters and cartoons and stuff. I thought that was pretty interesting. So I will rank what if, and I'm going to speed the process up as we go through the movies. I thought this was cool. I will say it is a B tier. Or actually, you know what? I changed my mind. It's an A. I think it's cool. Um, Next one, Incredible Hulk. Um, I didn't really watch. I don't. Well, I could watch it, but I do remember watching it a couple times, but I don't have really any memories. So at this, I have to rank. I do have a little bit of memory, but I don't really remember much of the movie. So I'm just gonna put that as question mark because I know I watched it, but I haven't really looked into it. But I heard the actor, by the way, got fired, and then Mark Ruffalo decided to hop on and play the Hulk. That's how it is. I don't know what the actor name was that played in this. Um, it says Morton. It looks like. Let me get a bigger picture, please. Stuart Norton. Um, was the actor that played the Incredible Hulk. Okay, so moving on. Thor's Dark World, or is it the first? Yeah, it's the first floor. First floor. The first Thor. This one I consider it to be legendary. I remembered I was at my uncle's house and I watched it in their bedroom, and I remembered the whole setting was cold air and I was in the blankets just getting warmed up, and I'd watched it and they had it saved for the recording of this, and I do have a memory with it, and I do find the first Thor to be very interesting. The second one, I remember the trailer and it was really great, but I don't watch this movie really. Crazy, right? So I will say it's a E. Thor Ragnarok. I thought this was looking forward thing to do. Thor's hammer was crazy when he throws it to Helga and he destroyed the hammer itself. I like the whole setting and the concept of how Thor was. I thought that was pretty interesting what he did right there. If I had to say Ragnarok, I would say it's a C. Captain America: First Avenger. I actually do remember me going and seeing this in the movie theater, 2011, right? I think so. Or if I remembered, and this is another strange thing that happened around that time with this movie as well. I remembered I went to Chinese. I went to like a Chinese restaurant, and after when I got done with that, and then we started watching the first Captain America movie, I thought that was legendary, and it was a vibe and it's nostalgia. So I will give this a S tier. I think Captain America: The First Avenger is an S tier. Moving on, the Captain America Winter Soldier. This one was like a looking forward thing to look at, and it's pretty cool to find out that Bucky becomes the Winter Soldier. Was an anticipated thing to see who was under the mask, and it turned out to be Bucky. And I thought that was pretty cool, and the plot twist and stuff. Also, I do want to note that we're going back to also the times where I actually go to the iPad and stuff, and I always look at the trailers and stuff on there, and it was an app. Basically, I was saying iTunes, and this was also on the feed for iTunes movie trailers, and I clicked on it, and I loved the thumbnail. Watched it from there, and I thought it was a memory, and I will say it's an S tier. I liked that vibe. I honestly did. So, next one is Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. It was sort of a look forward thing to watch. It was kind of scary, I will say, a new interest of scary and new interest of confusingness. And why are you saying confusingness? When I went and go and see this movie, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, they introduced characters that it was random. This stuff was stupid random. Okay? I will say it. It's stupid random. What now? Sorry. Anyways, Doc, I could say the second Doctor Strange movie was confusing as heck. In a way, with the fact that they killed the four, or I don't know, not even four, but 6 of them. It was just strange. And then, yeah, all of a sudden, somehow Wanda becomes the villain, like I said in WandaVision, and it becomes a threat. And it was like a face palm to the head because I kind of like the entrance from Wanda because Wanda was doing really great, I would say, in Avengers Civil War. I thought it was the great sauce with this vibe of what they were doing. And Civil War, also, I do want to note and mention as well. Captain America Civil War 2, another thing I find interesting about that movie too as well. I remembered I was in my yellow and, well, basically a Michigan room, Michigan football room, yellow and blue as the color of the wall. And I remembered I had breakfast in bed, and I don't know if I was on the Kindle Fire HD or if it was on the rectangular tablet I had, a Samsung one, but a smaller one compared to the one I have when I make vocal music. I remembered I was like laying on the bed sideways, and I watched like a little clip before it was being released into theaters. I remember that was an experience, and I thought that was also cool about the Civil War. Anyways, this one I rank this kind of garbage slash E. Okay, that's all. Next one is Miss Marvel. Um, Honestly, I thought it was pretty cool how the concept was with Miss Marvel, and the memory I can think of from my head is the fact that the only thing I remember from this was the fact that I went to Wendy's, or yeah, I think it was Wendy's. Yeah, it was. Takes me a little bit to realize. Um, yeah, I remember when I got done with Wendy's and stuff, I went back home and then I watched Miss Marvel, and it was episode by episode. I don't like the episode by episode and stuff, but I do like the setting of the character to be like in the high school and stuff. Um, it was okay and stuff. Um, I also want to also combine the Marvels with this one, and well, no, I would say I like Miss Marvel as this character in this movie compared to the Marvels. I think the Marvels, in my opinion, is garbage, so it's an F tier. Um, Miss Marvel, I will say, is another one that is great. I think it's possibly a D slash C type vibe. That's all I can say. Okay, Love and Thunder. I didn't like my life at that time too. I will say with the Thor Love and Thunder. I thought that CGI was garbage. I thought the fact that the way they were running the characters, it was kind of weird. And I didn't like that at all. And I will easily rank this as an F slash E. Didn't enjoy it really. I didn't really enjoy the movie. And I don't even watch the movie. Okay, next one. Wakanda Forever. I don't watch this movie at all. Um, I did see this movie, but I don't watch it anymore because it was easily not watchable again. And I don't know. I can tell you that isn't really looking forward to. I don't. It's all a blur to me. I'm gonna give this a E slash F. My opinion. Next one. Ant-Man and Quantumania. This is the last one. Um, I recently just watched the movie, and when this came out and stuff, 2022, I think it was, or if it was 2023, I think it was actually, yeah, it was the end of no, end of 2022 to 2023. Didn't watch it in theaters because I was starting to fade off with the whole garbage collection right here. is because of that. Um, Quantumania, I just recently watched this at this new house. Um, do I enjoy it? Do I find any interest of it? I think it's okay. Um, I all I can say, I like the fact that they had the setting a little bit with the world and stuff, but I find it kind of weird with the CGI. The CGI stuff is not really great quality. Didn't really enjoy it really that much. So if I had to give a ranking to Ant-Man Quantumania, I think it's a D/E. So yeah, this is the ranking. If you can see, I'll shorten it out a little bit. Ooh, that's a little bit. That's what my ranking is. I might give a little bit of an opinion. I don't think I will in the future with me saying this, but I will definitely check out this one. This one I know probably might be actually garbage actually because nobody talks about it, so I'm gonna go with that. All right. That's all for the video. If you guys have anything to help me understand why I should like this, just let me know in the comment section. Please do not hate me because I rank these types of stuff. I'm just giving you guys basically storyline of how I feel around these Marvel movies and stuff. And look at the list for S tier. There's a lot of them I like about it. These were movies that were enjoyable. That these three tiers are the most main ones that are great. All these are not so good and needed to be a little bit fixed in a way. Slash, it was alright, I guess, in a way, but it was just only a little bit. Alright, I better stop my yapping before I get too far with what I'm gonna say and stuff. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.